What's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
It's been a couple weeks, huh?
It's been a little while, man. I feel like we've been saying that a lot at the start of these lately.
This is gonna. Well, it's just not. It hasn't up until now. Hasn't been like the biggest priority, right? For everything that we got going on. A lot of you listeners know, like, we've got a real estate business that we run, and we also just had a baby. Not we, right. As in Eli and I. I don't know if he could shit my baby out.
I'm capable of a lot of things. I don't know if I'm capable of that.
My baby mama and I, we had our second little boy about a week ago. Yeah. So that's awesome. And we just got done doing the Ryan Pineda podcast in Vegas. That guy's awesome, man. Like, he's got one of the biggest podcasts in the country right now.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's blowing up.
Love what he's doing. Super smart guy. Man, just seems like he's authentically himself, and really enjoyed his company and just the time spent. And we're actually having him on this week, so you guys will hear Ryan on our podcast. Yep. But just moving forward, you know, like, just after seeing what Ryan's doing, we just hit our millionth download for our podcast, which is awesome. But it should be significantly more, I think, if we prioritize it and just did a good job. We've had a lot of support from Andy Frisella and Sal and Iron Cowboy and Ryan Pineda, a lot of cool guys. And it's like, hey, man, why not? And in addition to that, we also want to take this platform and use it as a tool for everyone else to also help grow their brand and their business, right? So if you're out there and you think you're a good fit for the podcast, or if you know somebody that would be a good fit for the podcast that wants to come on and tell their story, talk about their business and their brand and what they have to offer as a human and all that good stuff, and then just still having some teachables and deliverables and just some good content for the show, reach out on Will_Grimes on Instagram. Throw me a DM and let's have a conversation. So if it's you personally and you're listening, awesome. If it's somebody else that you think of, check with that person first. I've had a couple people say, hey, I've got a buddy, he'd be great. My response to you is, awesome, but check with your buddy, see if he's familiar with our podcast and if it's something that he'd want to do. Because what I don't want to do is just blind reach out to folks. So if you guys have people in mind, check with them first, and then let's get the intro going. But super excited, man. So moving forward.
It is time.
And that's the title of the podcast today, is just catching everybody up on what we're doing, giving you guys some teachables with it as far as, like, just how we've navigated to where we're at right now, and then just moving forward, being a lot more intentional. Yeah. With not only our own podcast, but then just guests being on. We've got a couple big names that are coming on, but in addition to those, giving it back to the people to allow you guys to use this as your platform as well to have some fun with, right? But
it's time, man. You know, it's been like you said before, it hasn't been a top priority. It's been something that we've always, like, babied, and it's always been very special to us having this platform. But at the same time, you know, it's just other business stuff going on. And now I feel like we're just finally at that moment where, you know, we've got 130 something episodes of our podcast. We've got businesses that are up and running and producing and doing all that stuff. So it's like, feels good to be at that phase of just bigger, just more.
Well, and we just have to treat it like a business, right? It's been a hobby for us, and it's been a hobby that's
a great way to put
done really well, right? But now it's just time to get more intentional with it. And again, I think the biggest motivator for me is having other people on that aren't necessarily known per se, but I love that, because you got a lot of studs out there that could use this platform, but all you listeners out there that can hear people at your level or at your phase and how they're doing it, it becomes so tangible to take their advice for where they're going and just giving some back to the people. I think it's going to be super cool. So we're excited for that. Man, lately we've been ramping up for some events. We are getting ready to launch our YouTube course online. This has been a huge project for us. I think personally, obviously I'm partial, it's ours, but I think it's the YouTube course. If there is a YouTube course, it's the YouTube course, because we waited 3 years to make it. That channel's made us over $3 million in 2.5 years. It's been a banger, man. Like, we've really crushed not only our YouTube channel, but we've helped a handful of other people directly crush making $500,000 plus from their YouTube channels. And we feel like, man, not only the front side of what people see on YouTube, but everything behind the scenes analytically, systems, processes, buyer presentations, CRMs, everything behind the scenes is where we feel like we're a game changer when it comes to actually operating these channels. And so we actually launched that YouTube course on the Ryan Pineda Show. That'll be out here in about a week or two. I guess I'm soft launching it right now on ours because this will be out today. So that's cool. So we've got that. And, you know, like, a deliverable for you guys out there is just understanding the power of just a digital community. the power of a digital product. And if you guys are really becoming a subject matter expert at something, realize the power in your intellectual property and how you can organize that into a digital product, and you can sell it, right? And you can sell it for a super competitive price compared to what it gains you, and you can just give a deliverable for someone else to utilize and go crush their future.
And this one's really a no-brainer, because when you look at, man, any other course out there, like there's so many courses out there that are like, you know, you pay your $5,000 or your $14.97 or whatever it is, and the potential upside is like, hey, you're learning how to edit videos, or you're learning how to create an ebook. No. Whereas on this one, like what we've been able to do with our YouTube channel is like you said, man, like applying the stuff that we put in this course has made millions in commission.
It made $800,000 our first year.
Yeah.
Ended up making over $3 million in 2.5 years. Like it absolutely crushes, but it's very practitioner. It's very focused on the performance of what you have to do as an agent. And you know, you spend a couple grand on something for something that made someone $800,000.
Yeah.
Other people $400,000 and $500,000 their first year. So the ROI is like 100x. You know, we've been told, man, just being transparent, we've been told that we should sell it for a lot more. And Eli and I we're good to go, man. It's at a good price. There's a benefit to it for us. It's also a competitive price to make it affordable for everybody that's out there. Hey, it costs enough to have skin in the game, but it's uber affordable compared to some other things that are out there. And we've got 10 or 100 times the ROI than others. And again, just like we're going to use this podcast and give it back to the people and let people build, we're also going to keep our products like that at a super competitive price to just reach as many people as possible and help them win.
Well, and the best part too, to like these platforms, is that, you know, after you're in there, it's an ever-growing course. It's not something like, as analytics change, as you and I discover new things to do to attract more buyers and sellers to our channel, all that stuff is going to go in there. So it's literally just a library that we're going to keep growing.
And in addition to that, we're going to run like bi-weekly or monthly live Q&As. So if you're a part of that course through purchase, then you'll be involved in the monthly Q&As where you can just run questions by us and we can help you in real time. And
another thing that I want to, hadn't thrown this idea out there yet, but
honey,
I want to do like a,
all I heard was so yeah, great.
Like a feedback Friday. So have someone submit a video, right? And you pick a video that someone submits and you choose a winner essentially.
I like it.
And go through and, man, watch their video, live critiques and stuff.
I think it's a great idea. I think as long as you've got like 14 to 25 videos uploaded onto your channel.
Yes.
And you've shown consistency, because what I don't want to do is have people go do critique Fridays or feedback Fridays and it just becomes a different layer of procrastination.
Yep.
And nothing's ever perfect, and then they don't upload video, or they're only at one video every other week or one video a week. They're not hitting what they need to hit. Once you've proven that you're at 2 videos a week every single week and you're having some consistency, then the feedback of making a video better is available. If we can't even get you to just post videos on a regular, we're not past that step.
100%. Yep. That's the application process.
100%.
Of hey, submit here and
But man, we've been promoting our brand and our business. We've had, you know, we had over 100 agents join last year, which is awesome. We've got agents joining by the day, which is awesome. But something that's been on my mind, man, is just like the practitionership. And I've been letting some things affect me a little bit. And you know what, man? I'm glad that I have. Excuse me. So let me dive into some thought process for you, Eli. And not to be stoic, but let's get stoic for a minute. There's so much talk around like protecting your thoughts, protecting your energy, and just not letting things affect you, and moving swift, you know, and everything, right? Cool. Every once in a while, something will affect me. And then I let it. Like I'm conscious of it. And there's times where like I'm conscious of something affecting me and I'm like, hey, is that serving me? No, like, and I move on. There's other times where something will affect me and I go, yeah, I like that. I like that bothers me. That needs to sit there for a minute. I need to get a little chip on my shoulder on that one. And it comes from my pride of being a practitioner. It comes from my pride of, hey, at the end of the day, no matter how great we can become at podcasting or building YouTube channels and building brand, I feel we do the best job at helping clients. I feel our customer service, our retention, I feel how we take care of agents and the practical applications and teachables that we give them are bar none at the top. I feel like we're at the top for that. And I feel that because our fingers on the pulse and we're in the game. And something that's been bothering me is not bad people, right? So, and some of these people, man, they might listen to the podcast. Who knows? So not bad talking humans from like a personal standpoint. I think I've matured at 38 and being a father. The people that just have bad intentions or they're just negative and draining, the fucking fastballs right down the middle.
Yeah.
I can peg them now and I just leave it alone. There are good people out there that mean well and are decent human beings. But then when it comes to business, they shortcut. They want to look the part for self-gain. Mm-hmm. As in, the example that's bothers me a little bit is people that are out teaching social media, you know, to like, let's just use real estate as the example, right? So people that are out there that throw events and want to teach social media to realtors. Mm-hmm. I just want to let everybody listening out of the gate know, if you're a realtor, you're like in my nook. I care for you so much. Mm-hmm. I care for your future. I care for your family. There's a lot of single moms in real estate. So I care so much. And I care so much to the point that, and just from my background, leadership matters to me. So let me just give some context here. Realtors are my people. I love you. I don't care what lenders want to bad talk realtors and they don't listen. They're lazy. Fuck you. They're mine. And lenders, all you do is poach to get business from realtors, right? So let's just call a spade, right? But realtors are my people, man. Leadership has just been embedded in me since the Marine Corps at a very serious level, because you're leading people and there's very serious circumstances for the decisions that you are trusted to make. I take that same level of proficiency, expectation, and seriousness behind the decisions I have as a leader in real estate. And when people in real estate are listening to me and they're going to go out and build their brand and build their business based off of some of the advice that I'm giving them, that's very serious for me, man. They got families to feed. They got kids to feed. They got themselves to feed. They got their ambition and their goals and their dreams to accomplish. And they're trusting me giving advice. So if I don't know some shit, I better fucking say it. I better not pontificate, and I better not get theoretical. I come from a place of here's what worked for me. Mm-hmm. Here's what works for me. Here's what worked for me. And then I break it down fundamentally because a lot of it can probably work for them, right? And we've got some folks in real estate, it's been around for a long time. And this is not just one individual. And Eli, you know this, you know me well enough now. If I see patterns of recognition for myself, I'll speak to it. Mm-hmm. If it's one outlier, I'll say it's an outlier. If it's a pattern, if it's a handful of people, we're talking like 6 or more, I'll talk about it. Mm-hmm. So this is 6 or more. They're so eager to look the part. They're so eager to be an influencer, right? So let's just use LOs for an example, because there's a couple of them that are on my mind. They're not good practitioners. They're not good at the loan process. They're not educated at the loan process, and they delegate that out. But they'll throw events and they'll teach social media in order to gain attention from realtors, attempting to then earn business from realtors. There's 2 problems with this. They have 0 conversion from the attention that they've learned how to get on social. Okay. When I used to work at Fit Republic, right, the company I was director of operations for, fitness company, Kurt franchised it. I helped him grow it. You could put a shaker bottle on a girl's ass and get 10,000 likes on social media and not sell 1 shaker bottle. Okay. We would then do informational videos once a week. Different types of creatine. What's best for you based off of goals. Which creatines actually work. Blended protein, isolate proteins, casein, all this education. We'd get 300 or 400 views, but business would go up 30%. Mm-hmm. Okay. Analytically, you're looking at what we call conversion, motherfuckers.
Yep.
When people are out teaching social media now, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, everyone wants to talk about likes, views, and all this stuff. Yet they don't talk conversion because there isn't any sale coming from it. And where I get partial to my realtors is I need them to understand people are trusting us with the most expensive sell and buy of their life. You being a TikTok or Facebook dancer or comedian might get you a lot of views, get you nobody trusting you with your business. There are claims out there that people know someone that gets business from TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, but they don't come speak. And if there's one, but fundamentally how they approach their platform is different than said lenders teaching this, right? And people get so quick to teach something, to be the influencer, to be the subject matter expert, that they're missing the practitioner side of, you haven't created a concept that's created conversion.
Yep.
So the strike one is you're teaching attention, but it doesn't correlate to conversion, so it doesn't matter, okay? Secondly, you're then, enticing agents to then work with you because, hey, look at me, I'm said subject matter expert. I can help you grow your business. I can help you grow your views. I can help you grow your following. But it's hollow because no conversion comes from it. And in addition to that, the second flaw is, even if they do give you business, you're not good at your job. My thing here when it comes to integrity is just go run events. Don't be a lender. Don't be a team leader in real, because it's not just lenders and it's not just one person. And there's 1 to 2 people I'm thinking of right now that might listen to this and they're thinking it's them. You're correct, along with a handful of other people. This is not just singling somebody out. But I am going to protect our industry. And I am going to speak as an industry leader contextually, because I think it matters to me. And I think getting people to listen to you, as much as people are so eager to be a leader, there's like no fucking thought of responsibility behind what you're doing. And there's no integrity behind it, which means what? You're manipulating. You're not leading. You're manipulating people through hollow attention to then work with you in your hollow practitionership.
Isn't that ironic?
And it fucking makes me so mad because, dude, I take so much pride in helping them, right? So where am I at with it? We just had our second son, baby Cam. Such a stud.
He is.
He's so pretty.
Yeah.
Not because of me.
Yeah.
Here's what's crazy about my sons. They're super pretty and they look like me, but they didn't become pretty because of me. So they're like the pretty version.
You got some strong genes in those boys,
I don't know,
though,
man.
bro.
They're awesome. But where I'm at with it, right, when Cam was born, is I'm redialing in like, hey, what can you control? What can you not control? What gets your attention? Now, I'm glad this got my attention. I'm glad it affected me. I'm glad it bothered me. I even allowed it to fester, dude, because I wanted content for it. I wanted to process my thoughts, because events moving forward, I'm going to be talking about this stuff. I'm going to be talking about conversion and the reality behind brand building that leads to actual sales to provide for yourself, not just hollow views, hollow likes, and all this other crap, right? Like, we're going to be talking to that stuff. So I needed, so 2 things I have for you, Eli, and I'm going to let you comment on this stuff. 2 things. I uber prioritized my circle again. And the second layer I had to dive into this time is where I feel like I'm growing now. Okay. The fastball down the middles, people that are bad energy suckers, energy vampires, negative, can't catch a break, whatever. Or not even just the can't catch a break people, but the people that might have malicious intent where they're just out for themselves.
Yep.
Those are fastball down the middles for me. I read those pretty well. Keep my space. 5 years ago, I was just learning how to identify those. I'm good at those now.
And how many of them there are out here.
Correct. Now, the second layer I've delved into in like maturity and circle is, dude, good people, man. The people I'm talking about today, the reason why I probably sound, if you guys are watching, I'm moving my hands a little bit, so I might be visually a little triggered per se, mildly triggered.
Sure.
Or if you can hear it in my voice, you guys can kind of hear that I'm a little bothered by this. And I'm bothered by it twofold, because I care for my realtors. These are my people. And secondly, I'm bothered because the people that I'm watching conduct this behavior, I like them.
Yep.
And this is where I'm not struggling. I've made the decision. I've distanced myself. No bad blood. Not going to talk bad about them. Nothing. No, there's no need for that kind of crap. But it bothers me because, dude, it's easy to distance yourself from malicious people, from energy suckers, because you're so exhausted from them. It feels like a relief to not have them around.
Yep.
These people I'm talking about today, they're good people, man. I could have a beer with them. I trust them around my kids. If I needed a favor, I could call them. And I feel like they would do a favor for me. And I would do a favor for them. And if they called me today, I would pick up my phone, man.
Yep.
And that's why it's so bothersome, because it's like, man, you're better than that, man. You're fucking better than that. And you guys are shortcutting stuff out here. And like the pride of an entrepreneur I have in me and doing the fucking work, I get a chip on my shoulder with that. I get a chip on my shoulder because you're manipulating my home team, which is realtors. And you're a good dude. Why are you don't need You don't need to shortcut. Why? Mm-hmm. You know, and it's bothersome. So once Cam was born, that night and the next day, I just a little difficult, but it was like, man, I gotta start sending text messages. Some people didn't even respond, no problem. But I had to send some text messages out and be polite but assertive and just like, hey, man, I'm not involved in your event. Hey, I can't speak. And I'm not a big deal. Their events are going to still kick ass, dude. Like, I'm not bad talking these people. They're going to go throw events, and they're good at throwing events, man. They get a lot of people to their events. And me not participating is not killing their event. I am mildly interesting, okay? They're still going to have a kick-ass event. But everyone listening, it's got to come down to your core values. It's got to come down to your own mission statement and what you stand for. And what I'm not doing it with the malicious intent to hurt their event. Mm-hmm. No, not only am I not doing it for that reason, it wouldn't matter even if I was, because they're still going to have a kick-ass event. They're good at throwing events. I don't stand by what they're doing. Mm-hmm. I don't stand by them not being a practitioner, and I don't stand by them teaching social media and not having the key ingredient, which is called conversion. I don't care about attention if it's absent conversion, man. And very few people, dude, in real estate and lending understand conversion. Oh, yeah. Very few. Uh-huh. Very few. Mm-hmm. And if you're one of those respected, I love you. And dude, the reason why we have so much street cred within our industry is because people respect us and our reputation because of that and our care that we give people, right? So when Cam was born, I just like, man, I've been thinking about this for a little while. I've been letting it bother me on purpose, intentionally. And it just gave me my culminating thought of like, hey, man, it's just time. And it's a bummer because I like these people, but it's got to go because it just doesn't align. But we've also, even prior to this, we've eliminated a couple of people that are around us, not bad people, and we grew quicker.
I love doing that.
And we grew quicker. I know you do. That's the Jew. That's the Jewish guy in you, man. Like, I care. Things matter to me. You're like, yeah, fuck that. I didn't even talk to that person. You know, like, yeah. But that, and then just, so two things I have for you that I want to get your thoughts on, man, is that second layer, not the obvious people to get rid of, but the good people that just don't align. And the bummer of it behind, they're good people, right? But I don't even want to spend time as friends with them because it's like, dude, I don't have that much time. Like your wife came over this weekend with your son to hang out with new baby.
Yep.
I think that's the third or fourth time I've seen your wife in 5 years.
Yeah, probably.
We just work, man. You and I grind, we do our thing, and we're not doing this. We're with our families. So I only have so much time anyway, which means even if I could spend time with them as friends, but we're just not doing business together, I don't have that much time to go around. I want to give that time to the people that just matter most. And then, but just, I'm curious your thoughts on that second layer identifier to eliminate. And I'm curious about your thoughts on allowing something to like fester and affect you as a tool, right? Like everyone wants to like fail so quick, dude. Fail fast, fail forward, fail fast. I'm like, what does that even, like, dude, let me just leave you with this.
Go for it, yeah.
I can't. If I'm failing fast, it's from shit that doesn't matter. Okay, but you also know me. I can't even fail cornhole fast.
Yeah, no.
If someone's fucking changing the rules on cornhole, I'm going to fight you.
Yep.
It almost happened. Tosh would have whooped my ass. I'm not even, man. He would have beat me up. I think I've got the upper hand in haymakers on him.
Oh, yeah.
But if I miss, he most definitely has the upper hand with cardio. The fucking guy rode the Atlantic. Okay, that guy would drag my ass up and down a mountain for a week, nonstop.
Man.
Okay, and like, that's fine. However, I was prepared for battle.
Yep.
Over cornhole. Okay, like, and the battle was like, not anger. The battle was like witty, trash talking to get under each other's skin, like real good, real high level competitive shit with neurotic people like me. So there's not much I fail fast on. Now, I do understand myself when some things like if I'm too emotional about it and the thoughts become very toxic, or the thoughts, I'm so upset, the thoughts can influence behavior, like action, like going to someone's house and kicking their ass. Nope, that's fucking toxic. You're 38 years old. You're a father. You're not beating anyone's ass. Not that happened. I'm just using that hypothetically. But when something hits me, and I know there's a chess move, and there's decisions that have to be made. It's like, first of all, I can't fail fast even if I wanted to. And I think Tim Grover talked about it. Like, you need to sit. He's like, when you fail, he's like, everyone wants to this and that. He's like, no, you need to lay down. When you fucking fall, you need to stay there for a minute. You need to feel that. That way, when you get back up, you know what that fucking felt like. And then you do everything you can to make sure it never happens again. I think people fail, or they're practicing or attempting to like fail so quickly, right? Or when something bad happens, they want to move on so quickly that they didn't even get the lesson in itself.
Yep.
When I was feeling this phase with my son being born, like literally, man, I'm sending text messages from the delivery room as we're just waiting a couple hours for labor. Passing time. I'm coming to some conclusions, but I was thinking on it for a week or two. But I like the feeling of allowing it to fester and to motivate certain thoughts that I can then articulate on a podcast. I can articulate for events, and not in a negative way to bash anybody, but to just call a spade for our industry and protect it, right? And I'm curious if you do the same, right? So twofold. Your second layer of people, and then do you ponder, even though it's kind of hitting you emotionally or affecting you in a certain way, are you tempered to feel it, knowing that you want to feel that for a while to then culminate real solidified intentional decisions?
Good questions, dude. With that first one, as far as just identifying those people that are decent people, no ill intentions, but man, just doing stuff you don't align with. You're so much more, just you connect with people's energies a lot more than I do, just in general. I think I naturally create just more distance, not intentionally, it's just naturally. So I find myself in those situations less because I'm not even going I'm just surface level with 90% of the people that I have interactions with.
So for you have like a, almost like a filter on the front end.
Yeah. I just don't,
is it a filter or is it just, it's subconscious?
It's subconscious. It's nothing intentional. At least that I know of, unless it's something, So
what you're saying is we'd be at events talking and not even realizing that we're aligning ourselves with dipshits because of you.
Yeah. But
I've got to break it down for the listener.
But also, there's not even alignment, because I'm also very one night stand with people in the sense of, hey, let's do an event together because I don't want to assume you're a piece of crap and potentially miss an opportunity.
Well, and the people I'm talking about are people that we've been around for a while where there's been some consistent.
Yep.
But even for like the one night stands, I think where like my integrity holds strong is like, I don't know everything about everybody. So I'm not going to say that I'm not going to go speak somewhere and and then someone goes, hey, Will, that fucking guy over there is an asshole. I thought you had that pot. It's like, look, man, if I'm unaware, I can't screen everybody or have a personal relationship with everybody. But I do think awareness matters to me.
It's huge.
Once I'm aware of someone's behavior, once I'm aware that even though as a human they don't mean ill intent, they're out grabbing attention shorthanded and they know what they're doing and they don't necessarily know the seriousness or even have a barometer for the responsibility behind getting people to listen to you.
Yeah.
But once I'm aware, that's where I have to part ways. And I'm not trying to hurt them. But it's like, man, like once it's on my conscience, I don't feel good about myself knowing I'm on stage, giving the impression that this person holding this event, anyone that comes to this event, and I'm speaking at it, I am subconsciously giving the impression to the audience that I'm signing off on that person. Now, again, I don't know everybody.
Yeah.
But if I start having a certain relationship with you, if things start to surface and I can feel and then I can verify, I don't feel good going into that environment because now it's conscience.
And something that you haven't...
Is that the right word?
Conscious, yeah.
Now I'm conscious of it, right?
Yep, on your conscience. But now you're conscious that it's on your conscience.
Right.
One thing you haven't mentioned yet, I'm curious if this is part of it. Like, I feel like you genuinely want people to win. You genuinely just... like it bothers you because you're like, bro, like you can do better than this. I 100%. Want you to win. You can do better. And you're fucking yourself up by doing it this way. I think that's one of the things that probably bothers you about it.
And I have those conversations with these people. I've not all of them, but there's been 2 or 3 that I've had that conversation with them. And I get a great response and they go right back to the same behavior.
Yeah.
So they tell you what you want to hear and they go right back to the behavior. And I think, man, I think deep down, just knowing them, they are fearful.
Yeah.
They are not financially doing well.
Yep.
They are fearful. They're scrambling. They're panicking while they're treading water. and you want to get them to calm down and understand, hey, if I can get you to calm down and apply the techniques while treading water, not only are you going to be stronger, you're going to tread a lot longer and stand the test of time, not just be some flash in the pan. It's so hard to get people to calm down when they're panicked. It's so hard, dude.
Yeah.
And you guys know I couldn't swim for shit when I went to boot camp. I know from both sides, trying to help someone and then also being the person not knowing how to swim. It's so hard to get people to relax while they're panicking in deep water. And a lot of the folks in lending and in real estate, they're in deep water. There's smoke and mirrors. They're putting on a facade that's not reality. And that's their whole plan to fake it till you make it. But the problem is that they don't realize you'll never make it. And here's why.
Yeah.
I don't care how much attention you get, and I don't care how many realtors decide to give you business because you helped them build their Facebook. The second they find out you are not good at transactions,
bye-bye,
or you delegated that transaction to someone else who runs your lending team.
Yeah, dude.
There's no loyalty. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
They're no longer going to be there. So imagine being in business and you have zero retention for the majority of people that you attract. It's this revolving door, and that's the type of tread water. It's not sustainable because you don't have any relationships that are staying and that consistently bring you business. Scott Leffert, he's our preferred lender, right?
Yep.
He's in the office right now.
Shout out to Scott.
He's a stud, right? He has sustainable business from you and I because that's our guy. If people use someone else, no problem. But if people ask for referrals and whatnot, they know where to go. That's sustainable because he does a great job. If you don't have sustainable relationships with realtors as a lender, and you're always out having to grab new realtors to maybe do a deal or two, you're the one panicking while you're trying to tread water with all this muscle and you're panicking.
Yep.
And it's only a matter of time before you go under. And it's like, but they're good dudes, and if they apply the fundamentals. But then you know what, man? Maybe I am not a great judge of character all the time. Maybe they're not great dudes. Maybe they like, hey, you know what you're doing.
You think they do?
In the back of their mind, I think they do, but I think people will do whatever it takes to win, even if it sacrifices integrity. I think so. I think they're more aware than they lead on. I think people play the neutral card more than it's actually reality. And I think they just don't understand the responsibility behind getting people to lead. And here's the other thing, man, like, you're not getting any deals from it. So why are you teaching social media with no conversion? And I've talked to a handful of people. Facebook and Facebook ads and different stuff. I know the guys that convert on that. Zillow. I know the guys that convert leads. I know what it costs. I know how it works. And I know whether you're doing it or not. LinkedIn. I understand that the business side of that thing and where people win with that. And I know people that win. TikTok. Well, both Democrats and Republicans are now in putting that up to the House to vote it out of America.
Yeah, that's scary.
So I used to say you're one Republican away from TikTok being gone. Now Democrats also agreed with Republicans. They sent it to Biden or whoever, like, to get rid of it. Now Biden, I think, loves China, so maybe it'll stay. But the point is, even if it stays, the risk with the TikTok one is, even if it's still allowed in America, people are so scared of TikTok, a lot of people aren't going to use it. The second problem with that one is there's like one person that has had conversion through TikTok, and she does well. She did like 38 transactions, which isn't mind-blowing. Okay, you and I are doing 80 to 120 million on YouTube in volume. Okay, that's like 140 transactions. We're talking 38. We're also talking one person that's figured out a way to make it work. Here's what bothers me. Everyone wants to regurgitate and bring attention to TikTok because it's like, hey, it's a new algorithm. You're getting so many views. You're getting so many followers. I got a million followers on TikTok. Hey, bro, 1 million followers on TikTok has to be the same as like 5 million on Instagram. And if you scale it.
And that's great, but like
conversion.
Just show the conversion. What do you get?
There's not. So like that's where it's like, hey man, if you're gonna teach TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever it is, if you don't have conversion, then you just gotta make sure you're transparent with teaching people attention. Because there are people that are out there, man, and they're doing really well getting attention. And I'll credit that. And they're not bad people, and I'll credit that. It's when you start talking about how much business they can do from it. Right. But you can't show that.
I think.
And then you want to have them work with you, and you suck at the practitioner side.
I think there's a ton of businesses that can absolutely crush from platforms like TikTok and all that stuff. A ton of businesses that can absolutely crush there. Buying and selling homes, that's a tricky one.
It is. And
It's
I know
different than anything else.
there's a female lender that does pretty well. I'll leave her name out of it. That does pretty well. And I'm pretty sure she got like 38 loans from TikTok. But like the pride, so let's just compare.
Why isn't she the one out there fucking teaching the class?
Well, no, she does.
Oh,
I'm
she
sure
does?
I'm sure.
Okay.
But
I'm like, geez.
she teaches her shit.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is everyone wants to use her name.
Yeah.
Hey, so-and-so's doing on TikTok. Come to my course. I'll teach you how to do it. You didn't do it.
Yep.
You didn't.
Yep.
It's like me going, it's like Aaron Rodgers teaching a quarterback course, okay?
Yeah.
Off of his skill set.
Yep.
And then me going, hey, Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback.
Yep.
Come to my course. I'll teach you how he did it.
Yep.
But I didn't actually do it.
Yep.
There isn't integrity behind that, man. I don't care how anyone wants to chop it. If you're not just calling it attention, because the only thing you personally have gotten successful at is attention, not conversion. But you're teaching and you're selling to an audience conversion, but you don't have that part, right? And like for us, we've talked about our YouTube channel, right? We've talked about our YouTube course. We also have a handful of people that make $400,000 and $500,000 plus a year on their YouTube channels that we have taught. Not only are we teaching what we've done to be successful at conversion, there's also handfuls of people I could show you that are $400,000 or $500,000 plus a year.
Oh yeah.
Teaching them how to do their own channel. So like, there's just a lot of tried and true proof of concept. It's duplicatable, but it's all coming from like when we're teaching. Well, it's from the source, man. We're teaching what we've actually executed on. And even though we've executed, I'm not pretending like I know everything. Yep. These guys that haven't executed conversion, bro, they're acting like they know everything. Mm-hmm. You and I have actually done it, yet we still stay to, here's what worked for us. Here's what works for us.
Yep.
Here's what worked for us. So even though we have all the clout because we have conversion, we still stay in our fucking lane. Because look, man, there's more than one way to do it. And if I try to teach people other platforms I don't do, or even YouTube, even if I try to teach you the same platform, but with a different concept that's different than what we've done, I'm vulnerable because I'm teaching theoretically, not contextually.
Yep.
And I just don't think there's any integrity behind it. I think people are so quick to be the influencer and be the man and bring these people around to throw events and bring big names in. And it's like, man, it's fugazi, bro.
It's the truth. What I'd love to see, man, is instead of these guys throwing these events, talking about these things, man, take a year. If you're bought in on TikTok, take a year. Mm-hmm. Crush TikTok, get deals out of it, build a massive business off of TikTok, and then, man, get a win. Then talk about it.
Or here's another idea. Take 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you and I have been in the YouTube game for 3 years before we opened our mouth.
Yep.
Excuse me, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Before we even started throwing a YouTube event, we were 2.5 years in, man. Mm-hmm. We were just over $3 million in revenue.
Yes.
In conversion in 2.5 years before we even opened our mouth to an audience. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We were over 3 years before we even decided to build a course.
That's all you got to do.
I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is, man. For me, Captain Sacchetti, Brian Shantosh, Captain Cook, Manny Maeda, Shane Perry, like guys that have known me through the Marine Corps, guys that have led me, guys that I look up to. I don't ever want those dudes thinking I'm full of shit. I just don't, dude. Like, because no matter how big we get, no matter how many people I meet, there's about 15, and this is also something that maybe I'd get your opinion on, because I know there's a lot of stuff out there about, like, don't care what people think. I can't help but care what people think to an extent. No matter how big we get, how many people we meet, I understand that you can't care about what everybody thinks. But you, my significant other, Brian Shantosh, Captain Cook, Manny Maeda, Captain Sacchetti. Dude, I can meet 1 million people and have all 1 million love me. And there's about 8 of you that if you didn't think well of me, it would hurt my feelings. And I would seriously go soul searching.
I think that's an honor,
to fix
dude.
myself.
I think that's really an honor.
But it matters what you guys think of me. And when people are like, don't give a fuck about what people think. What do you mean, bro? Like, you can't just, and this is the other thing about leadership or saying things that are just romantic, that sound good to say, right? Like, But like, what do you mean by that? Because you can't throw that blanket statement out there and expect people to like digest it. And I think people, when they do digest it, they're like, yeah, fuck everybody. Everybody? Now, maybe there's not one person in your life that you give a fuck about. So maybe it is fuck everybody. And then as you build a circle around you, as you level up, eventually you have people around you where you do care. What Eli thinks of me matters. If you thought I was a fake, it would affect me.
Same.
If Tosh thought you and I were frauds, no matter how big we get, it would affect me.
Same.
Now, if he thinks he's better at cornhole than me, I don't give a fuck what you think, bro. Yeah. I'm just going to convert on the scoreboard.
And I think that is,
and I'm being funny.
I think that is the goal, man, to find those people. Like that's one thing, again, you know, when people, that's why you have the perspective of leadership that you do. Dude, how many people have had real leaders around them? Well, almost none.
Well, now you do. Now you got Will and Eli. And if you want to come on the show, talk to us about coming on the show. If you want some coaching, I do elite coaching. We've got our YouTube course. You want to come on the podcast, you'll let us know. Seek relationships. Dude, Andy Frisella, man, he's a good dude. I talk to Andy Frisella probably once a month on Instagram. Typically, it's a quick question or cars. Or I send him funny dog videos, like bulldog videos, because he's got bulldogs.
Yep.
It's that. Sal Frisella, his brother, president at First Form. I talk to him probably every other week, and it's typically funny baseball videos. And every once in a while, I'll have a question. Or, you know what, man, sometimes it's just a thank you. Hey, man, I've just appreciated your time and your friendship. Cool. I know I don't get much of it. You're a busy dude. Andy's a busy dude. But, hey, what little I get from you guys, hey, I appreciate the support. And I share some of our wins with those guys. And, you know, and like the Lamborghini, right? Yeah, Andy's a big, so like buying my first Lambo, I shared that with Sal or with Andy and Sal, but more so Andy. He's a car guy.
It was a big couple of weeks, bro.
Yeah, we had a son, we got a Lambo, like all sorts of cool stuff. But I still want to do it respectfully, and no matter what, because these are all preferences, man. I fucking love cars. I've loved cars since I was 15. Some people meditate. Some people meditate in the shower. Yep. Some people meditate in their workouts, correct? You get me on airplane mode with my phone in a car and nowhere to be.
Hell yeah.
Meditation. And I've manifested. I've driven by houses since I was a kid. Yep. I had Lamborghinis on my poster when I was a kid. Like, if I'm still driving the same piece of shit when I was 15 now, then manifestation has not worked.
Yep.
But now that I see myself 15, 20 years later, and I'm in the car that I used to think and dream about while I was driving at 17 years old, that box checked matters, man. It's powerful, right? Like, it's powerful. Dude. But no matter what, these are all preferences. This is just me, dude.
Yep.
That's what I spend my money on. You spend your money on stuff, right? Like Eli spends probably the same amount in weed as I do on my car.
Not true. Not
easily,
true.
Bro. He's got a mountain in his backyard. Bonfires of weed, right? Fucking. But it's all preference. But what I would never want is, regardless of what I spend my money on, guys that I look up to and respect think that I'm a D-bag about it.
Yeah, dude.
As in the way you got your money,
the
way you're maintaining your money, or how you're presenting yourself. Like, no, man, like, not at all. And, dude, that's where our work ethic comes from, man. That's where 3 years of fucking work. You don't think other YouTube courses were coming out when you and I were on YouTube? Yep. Yeah, man. Yep. No disrespect to them. I'm not saying they have a bad course. I haven't dove into their course. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is it doesn't fucking matter. What matters is I wanted to feel like we got ourselves to a certain level of proficiency before we stepped into the leadership world of YouTube. We were practitioners, dude. We're in the practitioner world, pulling trigger.
Yep.
We're trigger pullers on YouTube.
Yep.
Practitioners, operators. If you're going to step into, I have a course, it's going to cost you money, it better change your fucking life.
Yep.
And I got to feel a certain level of professionalism with that because of how serious I take leadership and the responsibility that comes with that. Makes sense? Yeah. So, like, I just think people are short on that, man. And maybe I am blessed because of the leadership and the standard I've had from people. And you know what, man? There could be people out there listening right now that are like, hey, Will, you should lighten up on that, man, because you probably could have made a lot more money now. If you'd have brought that course out 2 years ago, you probably could have been making a lot more money by now. Like, well, we do well, so we're okay there. Secondly, maybe not, man, because maybe I'm rubbing myself raw on my conscience.
Dude, and you got one shot when it comes to something like that where you're putting your name out there publicly and you're putting your stamp on a product. You got one shot at that. And then if people dive into it and it doesn't fulfill what you promised that it was going to, man, you've lost that person forever, dude. Like, they ain't ever coming back.
Once they feel scammed, that's it, dude. And like, I think the big lesson here that I'm trying to get at too, right, is like, just monitor how you feel. Don't be so afraid, or don't be so quick to get rid of pain. Don't be so quick to get rid of failure. Don't be so quick to like get rid of toxic people, because you're going to get to that layer where they're not toxic people. They're good people. Yep. I just don't align with your intentions. And it's hard to see and it's hard to lay out. And dude, I'll tell you this much. It's very easy to turn a blind eye to it.
Oh, easy, man.
When you like people and you enjoy their company.
Yep.
And then that stuff starts to surface. It's so easy to turn a blind eye to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't.
Yep.
And man, the more you display the more you demonstrate to the universe that you're ready for the next level, it will give you an opportunity for the next level. And you still have to capitalize on it. It's not just going to be handed to you.
Yeah.
But these are some harder relationships I've had to navigate, and they're with people that I like, man. And it doesn't mean you just go cutting everybody out of your life. You got to have a scalpel. Mm-hmm. And you got to be precise as you kind of like really shrink your circle. But man, I'm not even talking my direct circle anymore. I'm just talking about people that are awesome, that I really enjoy, that we've done some events with, that I just no longer align. It's like, okay, so what are you going to do? Are you going to hold true to your fundamentals and to your core values and to your own integrity on how you feel, not how anyone else can feel, how you feel? I think that when the universe opens up for you, I think your own awareness, like just because I do something doesn't mean if you do it, it'll work for you.
Right, right.
But if I make a decision that's difficult, but what I feel is real, and the intent of my decision is on point and aligned with my universe, my feelings, you're telling your universe the right thing. Mm-hmm. So if you just go cutting people out of your life right now because you heard this podcast, no, maybe you cut a terrible person out of your life. Maybe they should have stayed. Mm-hmm. But you're just so quick to do something because I did it. It's like, nope. This is just what worked for me. But it works for me because I let it fester.
Yep.
I let it marinate. And I know in my core, man, from my gut, I know I'm making the right decision. Mm-hmm. And when you make those decisions that are right with your gut, like I was emotional about circumstances with patterns of at least 6 people. Some of the people were easier than others. I didn't get so emotional I lashed out or anything weird. None of that. But the reason why I let it set was to make sure that I wasn't making an emotional decision.
I was about to say, you have to have that buffer.
Okay, because sometimes people, like Eli's pissed me off before. Like when I saw the mound of weed in his backyard. Like,
he's lying.
But that doesn't mean Eli needs to be out of my life. Okay, so like
Yeah.
I've bothered Eli before. I pissed him the fuck off. Doesn't mean I'm a bad person in his life. You gotta feel your emotions. You gotta allow them to take their course. You gotta allow them to speak. They get to have their moments. Mm-hmm. But then you've got, as those fizz out, then you got to get to your reasoning. After you get to your reasoning, then you just got to let time kind of settle in and solidify really what the right answer is. And that's when it can really come from your gut.
Time's really important there.
That's also when you're telling the universe you're ready, because I felt like I'm tempered. Mm-hmm. I felt like I took adequate time to think things through, to feel all emotions, to consider all relevant circumstances with those decisions. Mm-hmm. And then make the decision. And this might sound silly to you guys, but I feel like I'm getting to a place in life, in fatherhood and in business and with self, where I'm just more full course meal on decisions. Mm-hmm. It's not just emotion. It's not just reason. Like it's kind of like everything coupled in addition to time.
Yep.
Makes sense?
Yeah, it's good, man. It's, I think that is, do you think that's coming from fatherhood?
No, I think fatherhood makes you want to bring it out because you want to be a good father. I think it comes from you. I think it comes from Mike, Diesel Mike. He's not just Diesel Mike, but I'm going to call him Diesel Mike because that's how you know him.
Yep.
But Mike Long.
Yep.
You, Tosh, Dan Cirillo, a.k.a. Taco. Mm-hmm. I think the 4 relationships I have with you 4 guys, and just taking a little bit of all of you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, right? Like just taking a little bit from all of you has allowed me to kind of like build my own version of what I like in all of you.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like that we have this podcast too, because again, just with your experiences and your mindset, I love that you get to share some of that on here and your thought processes, because so much of it, people do just need to start thinking a little differently, thinking a little deeper, not just staying surface level with everything, thinking a little deeper. So these little tools that you're talking about and how you take away from just other people and stuff, and and used feelings as tools. Like all that stuff is so good for people to hear because it's so easy, just to, again, start the day and just finding, see what happens.
And all of you are different, man. Tosh, Mike, Dan, and you all different, but you guys have all one common thread as friends to me. All of you let me talk. Mm-hmm. Not that I don't let you guys talk, maybe. As in, all of you, I've said this to all of you, but I think all of you understood this about me without even having to say it. My thought process is very verbal. Mm-hmm. I'll come to you, I'll come to Tosh, I'll come to Mike, I'll come to Taco, and I'm thinking out loud. And I'll cross 2, 3, 4 different scenarios. I'll question myself, I'll question the scenario, I'll question the person, I'll go back to questioning myself, I'll change my mind maybe halfway through as I'm coming to more conclusion, and then I'll shut up about it, and then I'll sit on it for a while, and I'll think. Mm-hmm. But until I can get to like that quiet think place, if I need to really think some things through, all 4 of you are great friends because I think, again, I've mentioned that to all of you, but I think all of you already understood that when Will's processing, when Will's thinking, it's out loud. Mm-hmm. It's very verbal. Like Justin Martin, he's another example where like he's been around us for a short time now. I think he's also understanding that.
Yep.
But on the surface, man, and here's where I've gotten better. I try not to have the conversation with the same person I'm having the conflict with. Mm-hmm. Here's where I'll give you this. If there's a takeaway today from this podcast, it's this. When I'm with you, Tosh, Dan, Mike, even Justin a little bit, only a little bit because he's just newer to the circle. He's a great guy. I'm sure I'll continue that relationship, if he blesses me with it. I'm safe to do that with you guys. All of you guys know that I don't have any conclusion. I'm just trying to process, but I process verbally. Here's the problem, though. If I take that same practice to my significant other, to a fellow realtor on a deal with me, to, Kate's parents, they might not realize that I'm doing that. Mm-hmm. And if I'm doing that to them, it might sound like I'm attacking them. Because the front end of what I'm thinking out loud,
if the issue's about them,
could be pointing the finger at them, and I just haven't pointed the finger at myself yet. Make sense? Yeah. So like I can end up making people feel very defensive when in reality it's like, no, I'm not even saying you're wrong. I'm literally just trying to throw everything on the table. Well, that's very hard to do if the person on the other side of the table is also the person you're having the conflict with. That's where you got to pause and realize, hey, thinking out loud is not the best immediately. I should go talk to one of my buddies about it and then come back with more solidified thought, more composure, more temperance, and then have the conversation with that person. Or if I can't do it because it's in the moment, I've really been able to just temper myself and practice thinking internally and being very decisive with what I choose to open my mouth. I used to just vomit it all out. But then, again, you can make someone feel attacked. The guys that I mentioned, even if I had conflict with you, dude, early on, you knew it wasn't at you.
Correct.
You kind of like just knew what I was doing, and then I'd explain it. But outside of like you 4 or 5 guys, man, like it's not the best practice because, again, man, if I'm doing that to, like, for example, let's just use Kate, right? My significant other. And let's say like she does something with cash. Not necessarily wrong, but not my preference. And I just start coming out with everything I don't like about it. Prior to coming out with everything I maybe do like about it, and I should question myself, do you know how attacked she's going to feel? I will tell you how attacked she's going to I'm just, as I'm talking, she's grabbing a you And I'm like, that's where are you grabbing it? Like, oh, I get it. You want to murder me. And it's like, hey, you know what, man? Like, and it was so, I'm so used to just talking my thoughts out loud. I just, being a little bit better with the environment.
And having a counsel, like that's pretty cool. That's what I would call
having a counsel. And then here's where I've counseled myself.
Let's
go back to the point I made today about practitioners and people looking the part. There's been times where I've thought out loud to the person, to one person, 1 or 2 people out of the 6 to 8 people I've talked about today. I have thought out loud to them. Now, they didn't necessarily take it bad.
Sure.
But what I should have done is pause because it's like, hey, if this is how they already are, is it even worth the breath to open your mouth to try to voice something That's not going to change them. It's only going to create friction. And deep down, you don't want to do stuff with them anyway.
Yep.
I'm starting to think that now.
Yep.
And now I can just politely bite my tongue and I can just politely move on.
Yeah.
I don't need to cause any friction in a friendship or friction with another person, even though the intent comes from such a good place. It's not even needed if it's like, hey, man, if that's just how they're going to run their play, politely save it. Because here's the deal. Here's the other deal. Here's the other deal. Hey, Will, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you to unsolicit all your integrity advice to someone else and question someone else? Who the fuck are you? Hey, you know what? You're right. If that's how you're going to run a play and it just doesn't align, who the fuck am I to unsolicit any Braveheart monologue to you? Correct?
Right.
Who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
I need to just take a step back. And that's where I'm like really, I think, getting more tempered with just before that happens, just really sitting on it and then just being more decisive and intentional and just well aimed. Yeah. If I'm going to go down that road or not.
Yeah. You're right, man. People are going to be them. People are going to do their thing. Change takes a long time.
Dude, change not only takes a long time, you have to want to change.
Exactly.
Okay, so you got to want to change.
For a long time.
Well, you got to open the door of change says, I want to change.
Yep.
Once you open that door to I want to change, it then is a long hallway.
Mm-hmm.
A long hallway.
Look at it.
If you don't want to change or if you're not aware that there should be some change, you haven't even started. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I think I'm open to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I'm open to the people that have been around me and just getting more tempered, right? So I hope there's been some value to this podcast for you, dude. Mm-hmm. I hope there's been value for people because I know, guys, I know things get to you. Mm-hmm. Just temper that. I know we want to succeed overnight. I know we want to succeed right now. I know maybe some of you aren't in the best financial situation. You know, but like, man, there's just a way to do it. There's just a way to do it. And you shortcutting it, not only does it not get you anywhere quicker, it sacrifices your reputation.
Go win at some shit first.
You ever heard the bridge builder concept?
Yes, yeah.
A man could build 1,000 bridges.
Yeah.
Sucks one dick. He's no longer a bridge builder. He's a cocksucker.
It's true.
Not my quote. I can't claim it. But think about it when it comes to your reputation, man. Like, once word on the street's out there that just like there's more manipulation and stuff, or that you're just not great at what you do, man, it hurts. Just do it the right way and have integrity. And I don't know. I mean, I could keep talking about this all day. I hope there's some deliverables for everybody here.
Oh, there is.
I hope you care about what people think of you. I know people say don't give a fuck. I hope you've reached a circle in life where you do care what some people in your life think of you. If not, I hope you guys are seeking better circles, you know, to put yourself into where you would care, you know, and not only do I care what you guys think of me, all of you care enough about me, you'd politely say something to me. If I was being a D-bag, all of you guys would say something to me before I got toxic.
I don't know if all of them would, but there's people that would. Yes,
maybe one or two would. I know you would.
Yeah, there's people that would.
I know Mike would.
Mm-hmm. The people that matter would.
Yeah, 100%.
People that matter would.
I think so, and I think the other guys I mentioned, they might be a little bit longer before they mention it because they're just not. They don't have eyes on me every day. Some of you have eyes on me every day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, like,
and they don't know you, man. Like there's a lot of layers there. You know, anyone that, you know, is probably outside of those 6 or 10 people that you mentioned earlier who say they really know you, I would question it. You know,
I don't think
I would question it.
Yeah. I think you probably know me best.
There's a lot more than
I think not only because you're around me all the time, I think just your personality, your emotional intelligence reads my language.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I get you. Yeah, and likewise, so. I'll be feeling things that I haven't even noticed I'm feeling yet, and then you'll ask me about them, and I'm like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, I am, man. I have.
We're in tune, dude. It's like a flow state, but like your intent and my intent come from such a good place with each other. There's no egos when it comes to each other, and man, we like. Dude, we were Adam and Eve, bro. We were Adam and Steve. Because when we were building our business, we were both broke. We were both having fucking babies. Like, we were both bottom up. We had both had partners in business before that just weren't the best experience. Like, there was no dishonesty. There was no someone trying to be someone they weren't. Like, you and I were both bums on the street, and you looked like a damn bum, and so did I.
Yep.
And there was no like
Yeah.
one of us trying to be bigger than the other. We were both rock bottom.
Yep.
We were like Boondock Saints, bro. You and I just both.
Dude,
this is how we started. You and I both just got our ass whooped in a bar.
100%.
Right? And then as we got tossed out of the bar, we're both ripped shirts, fucking bloody. There's no disguising.
Yep.
You just got your ass whooped, and so did I.
Yep.
Like the writing, it's just out in the
Brushing
open.
ourselves off in the alley.
Only up from here. You want to?
That's true.
And then we
Wanna
get
go
after
grab a beer, bro.
But then we start getting life right,
100%.
and then we come back and kill these motherfuckers, right? Like
That's true.
It's Boondock Saint, and like, but I think because we come from such a humble start, and the timing of our humble starts were so at the same time, we were just going. Like if you were to meet me now, I wouldn't be able to relate to you.
It'd be different.
And you wouldn't necessarily want to relate to me because you're at a different level.
It'd be different.
You and I both had the energy for each other because it was like we were in the same fighting hole, or what you would call a foxhole.
Yep.
We don't call it foxhole in the Marine Corps because foxes run.
Ah, nice.
So we call it a fighting hole, right?
Cool.
But but you and I were in the same phase, under the same circumstances, both having kids.
Yeah.
Our boys are 5 months apart to the day.
Yep.
I mean, there's something to be said about timing.
Oh, there is.
Along with intention and personality traits and all that other stuff. But the phase of when we were grinding, man, was super unique. And I think it's brought us here, and it solidifies like a brotherhood, man.
And it's a different grind now. Always a grind, just a different grind.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
Love you, bro. Appreciate you,
man.
bro. It's fun to get back on the mic. You guys are going to hear us in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Because we got Ryan Pineda coming on Thursday. I'm not sure if we're going to launch that on Thursday.
Yeah.
That one might come out maybe on Monday.
I'd like to get like a week ahead. So like we'll get this one out here this week, and then maybe launch Ryan
Eli's
on
got
Tuesday.
a bonfire of weed to smoke up tonight.
I haven't been doing it lately.
I'm going to drive my Lambo by it as fast as I can to try to like blow your bonfire out.
You're just gonna get high. That's what's gonna happen.
That V10, the flames out of it is just gonna like
now you're high
soak
in a
it
Lambo.
up.
That's scary.
We'll have just no, I'd be driving the speed limit. You catch me at like not driving at a Sonic trying to order peanut butter and jelly.
100%.
Like we don't have peanut butter. Like give me fucking peanut butter and jelly.
Oh shit,
it'd be fun, man.
That's
but
awesome.
Cheers to our healthy and happy families, man.
Yeah.
Cheers to all of you guys that listen and put up with our bullshit. And again, I just want to throw it back out there. We're starting to have a lot more people on to just try to give this platform and all of our views and downloads to back to you guys as the people, right, and the fans. So if you know someone, or if you are that person that feels you could be a great fit for the show and you want to come on and tell your story and talk about what you're doing now and what you have to offer, and obviously just telling your story, being deliverable for everyone else that can relate to you, I think that's amazing. Will_Grimes on Instagram. That's the only one I have. If you're seeing fake accounts, it's not mine. But throw me a message. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if we can't schedule it. We do in person here in Denver, and we also do Zoom. And Eli, credit to him, he's got super, super good technical skills. So our Zoom, as long as you guys have great internet wherever you're at, our Zoom and the way that we frame it up and do everything for the podcast to have somebody on via Zoom, the audio is still great. If you guys are watching via video, the video and audio is still great. So if you can't make it to Denver, no problem. It doesn't matter where you're at. We can still have you on.
That's right. That's right.
But until we have you on, we hopping off.
That's right.
We out this bitch.
Appreciate you guys. We'll see you
later, guys.
I'ma slip it on down and turn it up. Southbound and we're trailblazing, yeah.